Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. One of the best ways to stay grounded in this crazy world is to start your day with gratitude. Gratitude for all the blessings that you have and all the blessings that you notice and all the blessings that you don't notice. You have no idea the power that is working in your favor, that is holding you in your hand, that is controlling everything. We live in a giant matrix, and you are part of this invisible matrix of connectedness in the universe. So while you think that you know what's going on and you're trying so hard to change something, it's not through force, but through faith that things change, that your life changes through your thoughts, and which control your feelings, which control your actions. And as your actions change, your behavior changes. As your behavior and actions change, you get a different reaction in the universe. You start to notice the world is different. Your circumstances are different. Your life is different. Not because the outside world has changed, but your experience, your thinking, the way you look at life, your perspective, the lens with which you look at life has changed. You change you, and your whole world changes. There is a power in the universe, a power greater than you that is orchestrating everything. How you look at life is how life really is. So I want to read an, a chapter in the book, The Hidden Power by Thomas Troward, called Touching Lightly. Troward says, "What is our point of support? Is it in ourselves or outside us? Are we self-poised, or does our balance depend on something external? According to the actual belief in which our answer to these questions is embodied, so will our lives be. In everything, there are two parts, the essential and the incidental, that which is the nucleus and raison d'etre of the whole thing, and that which gathers round this nucleus and takes form from it. The true knowledge always consists in distinguishing these two from each other, and error always consists in misplacing them. In all our affairs, there are two factors, ourselves and the matter to be dealt with. And since for us the nature of anything is always determined by our thought of it, it is entirely a question of our belief which of these two factors shall be essential and which the accessory. Whichever we regard as the essential, the other at once becomes the incidental. The incidental can never be absent. For any sort of action to take place, there must be some conditions under which the activity passes out into visible results. But the same sort of activity may occur under a variety of different conditions and may thus produce very different visible results. So in every matter, we shall always find an essential or energizing factor and an incidental factor which derives its quality from the nature of the energy. We can therefore never escape from having to select our essential and our incidental factor, And whichever we select as the essential, we thereby place the other in the position of the incidental. If then we make the mistake of reversing the true position and suppose that the energizing force comes from the merely accessory circumstances, we make them our point of support and lean upon them and stand or fall with them accordingly. And so we come into a condition of weakness and obsequious waiting on all sorts of external influences, which is the very reverse of that strength, wisdom, and opulence, which are the only means of liberty. But if we would ask ourselves the common sense question, where can the center of a man's life be except in himself? We shall see that in all which pertains to us, the energizing center must be in ourselves. We can never get away from ourselves as the center of our own universe. And the sooner we clearly understand this, the better. There is really no energy in our universe but what emanates from ourselves in the first instance. And the power which appears to reside in our surroundings is derived entirely from our own mind. If once we realize this and consider that the life which flows into us from the universal life principle is at every moment new life, entirely undifferentiated to any particular purpose besides that of supporting our own individuality, and that it is therefore ours to externalize in any form we will, then we find that this manifestation of the eternal life principle in ourselves is the standpoint from which we can control our surroundings. Every moment you can breathe in new life. New life is constantly working through you. The only constant in this universe is that everything is always changing. You are changing, you are growing, you are learning and trying and practicing, and whatever you're thinking is going out into the universe. And when you think thoughts that are emotionalized and in harmony with what you desire, peace, joy, love, connectedness, calm. What do you desire? When you're in that state of being, when you are connected to that feeling, when you are emanating that, whatever matches that energy shows up in your life. What's showing up for you in the outside world? It's not coming from the outside, it's initiating inside of you the vibrational energy that you're focused on, that you're thinking about, that you're concentrating on, that you're noticing is what's getting bigger and bigger and bigger in your life experience. It is vitally important that you spend some time connecting to God, to your higher power, to universal energy, to your inner guidance system, to that which you prefer. What do you prefer? What are you noticing? What's going on for you? Thomas Troward suggests that I'm going to start that paragraph over again. If once we realize this, that we can never get away from ourselves as the center of our own universe, and there is no energy in the universe but what emanates from ourselves in the first instance, and the power which appears to reside outside of us in our surroundings is entirely derived from our own mind. If once we realize this and consider that the life which flows into us from the universal life principle is at every moment new life, entirely undifferentiated to any particular purpose besides that of supporting our own individuality, and that it is therefore ours to externalize in any form we will, then we find that this manifestation of the eternal life principle in ourselves is the standpoint from which we can control our own surroundings. We must lean firmly on the central point of our own being, that divine spark of spiritual energy, that perfection, that divine light, that part of you that is connected to that which creates everything. We must lean firmly on the central point of our own being and not on anything else. Our mistake is in taking our surroundings too seriously. We should touch things more lightly. As soon as we feel that the weight of the outside world impedes our free handling of them, they are mastering us and not we them. It's so important to control your inner thoughts, your feelings, your thinking. Troward says light handling does not mean weak handling. On the contrary, lightness of touch is incompatible with a weak grasp of the instrument, which implies that the weight of the tool is excessive relatively to the force that seeks to guide it. A light, even playful handling, therefore, implies a firm grasp and perfect control over the instrument. Consider your body to be your instrument, the container that your spirit lives in, your meat suit, your body that is the physical you, but that's not the whole you. Your physical body is only one part of you. You have an intellect, but that divine spark of energy is guiding you. And as you have desires, those are meant for you, but you must get into the vibrational energy of already being that, already doing that, already having that, because your thoughts control your feelings and your actions. And whatever you're putting out into the universe is being reflected back to you in what's happening around you. What are your surroundings? What's happening outside of you? Are you taking them seriously, or are you practicing controlling how you look at life? A light, even playful handling implies a firm grasp and perfect control over your instrument. Troward gives an example. It is only in the hands of a Grinling Gibbons. Grinling Gibbons was a wood carver who created the most spectacular carvings in the most beautiful places in the world. It is only in the hands of a Grinling Gibbons that the carving tool can create miracles of aerial lightness from the solid wood. The light yet firm touch tells not of weakness, but of power held in reserve. And if we realize our own out and out spiritual nature, we know that behind any measure of power we may put forth, there is the whole reserve of the infinite to back us up. As we come to know this, we begin to handle things lightly, playing with them as a juggler does with his flying knives, which cannot make the slightest movement other than he has assigned to them. For we begin to see that our control over things is part of the necessary order of the universe. Now, he doesn't mean controlling your outside environment. He's talking about controlling you, controlling your thoughts, controlling your feelings and your actions, so that as you take different actions, because you're coming from a place of calm, in control, calmness, grace, knowing what you want, and going after it despite what's going on in your outside world, then things change through your thoughts, which are powerful creative energies, and your feelings, which are vibrating and causing every cell in your being to be magnetized to what you want or what you don't want. The more you understand, the more you study, the more you practice being in control of your thoughts and your feelings and taking control of your actions. Are they going in the direction of what you want, or are you drifting? Are you going back to what you don't want? Are you focused on everything that's going wrong, or letting things do what they need to do, and you remain calm and in control of you? We begin to see that our control over things is part of the necessary order of the universe. The disorder we have met with in the past has resulted precisely from our never having attempted consciously to introduce this element of our personal control as part of the system. Of course, I speak of the whole man and not merely of that part of him which Walt Whitman says is contained between his hat and his boots. It means your body. The whole man is an infinitude, and the visible portion of him is the instrument through which he looks out upon and enjoys all that belongs to him, his own kingdom of the infinite. And when a person learns that this is the meaning of his conscious individuality, he sees how it is that he is infinite and finds that he is one with infinite mind, which is the innermost core of the universe. Having thus reached the true center of his own being, a person can never give this central place to anything else, but will realize that relatively to this, all other things are in the position of the incidental and the accessory. And growing daily in this knowledge, a person will learn so to handle all things lightly yet firmly, so that grief, fear, and error will have less and less space in your world, until at last sorrow and sighing shall flee away, and everlasting joy shall take their place. We may have taken only a few steps on the way as yet, but they are in the right direction, and what we have to do now is to go on. There is a livingness in being yourself. So many people are trying to strive, always trying to go one better than what God has made them, with endless strain and struggle as a consequence. Troward says, of course, they are right to put before them an ideal infinitely grander than anything they have yet attained. The only possible way of progress is by following an ideal that is always a stage ahead of us. But the mistake is in not seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth. And that growth must be the expansion of something that already exists in us. That is the starting point. This growth is a continual process, and we cannot do next month's growth without first doing this month's. We're always wanting to jump into some ideal of the future, not seeing that we can reach it only by steadily going on from where we are now. There is a spiritual side of you that is connected to the divine. Take some time to tap into that infinite energy, that perfect love, that divine infinite. There are infinite possibilities, and you have divine. You are part of the divine. You are part of this entire universe. You have been created perfectly, and you have been created to want more, to visualize, to understand that there is more, and to allow yourself to receive more. It means to open your mind, open your heart, and to pay attention to what you desire. Love, peace, well-being, wealth, happiness, joy, beautiful relationships. What is your purpose? Are you living the life that you're meant to live? Or are you living what people told you you should do, you should want? And are you buying into that? I should be happier by now. I should be doing something different. I will be happy when. Troward says the universal essence of life is a continual becoming into form. And since we are a part of nature, we do not need to go further than ourselves to find the life-giving energy at work with all its powers. Just allow it to rise to the surface. You don't have to make it happen. You allow it. Take some time to connect to that divine energy and ask, what would you have me do today? Where would you have me go? What is meant for me to do today? Take a pen and paper and just sit quietly. What is it that you desire? What's in your heart of hearts? You, as the intellectual, physical body, are meant to do that. You wouldn't have the desire unless it was meant for you. The picture that you see in your conscious mind, what you desire with all your heart, that's yours. Claim it. Go out and do it. As you Imagine yourself being there. You get into a state of what it would be like, a state of happiness, a state of perfect health. You were created perfectly. What does it feel like to express that perfection? How happy and grateful are you to know that everything you want is yours? Write about it. Get into the feeling that it's already yours, already true, it's already done. You wouldn't want everything coming at you at the same time. Notice what you're noticing. Practice gratitude. Practice writing about what it is that you desire, and then letting the universe bring it all together for you. As you become a conduit, an energetic magnet, you attract more good into your life. Think it, feel it, do it. Write about how grateful you are for all your blessings, those that you have and those that are on the way. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Enjoy more of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.